Hey guys, it's Devin and welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new to my channel, I am a mommy of two kiddos, a son Cullen who is 5 and a daughter Isla who is almost 2, and I'm a hairdresser part-time and I am thinking about homeschooling my kiddos. So this video is going to be my 5 biggest fears about homeschooling. My husband Josh and I have gone over what we want to do with our kids, if we're going to homeschool them, if we're going to send them to public. Now Cullen, for those of you who don't know, had a speech delay. He still has a speech delay. He's caught up a ton though, and he is 5. He actually was supposed to start kindergarten last year and I held him back a year thinking that I would send him to kindergarten this year. I just think he needed a little bit more time to catch up. I think that was the best decision that I could have made for him, and now he's caught up so much. He's doing amazing. But now the biggest thing is, am I sending him to public or am I sending him to homeschool? And I keep going back and forth. I'm leaning more towards homeschooling. So I'm letting you guys know my biggest fears because I'm sure you guys have had similar feelings yourself if you decided to homeschool or if you are homeschooling. These might have been how you felt before you decided to do that. So I've watched lots of videos of other moms on YouTube. I've talked to lots of my friends who homeschool. A lot of them have felt the same way, which have kind of eased my worries actually. So if you guys have felt the same way or you feel the same way, if you're thinking about homeschooling, if you do homeschool, please leave some comments in the comment section below and let me know how you've been doing, how you've dealt with these fears, how you're doing in your homeschooling journey, because that will really help me. Number 1, I know is silly and we shouldn't worry about this, but it's other people. Listening to other people's opinion, listening to the judgments of other people, having to answer a million questions about how is your kid going to be socialized, which honestly I think is kind of crazy. Obviously, if you're homeschooling, you literally never leave your house, you might have an issue with this. But I'm a very outgoing person. I'm at the park, I'm at the library, Cullen does swim class, he's probably gonna do music class. We have we have a daughter here that also does play groups, and Cullen comes along with us. We're very social people, so I'm not necessarily worried about him being socialized. No, he's not going to be in a classroom with kids for like many hours every single day, but he's been in preschool also for the past 3 years because he's been through early interventions with his speech, so he's been around kids a ton, and I'm not really worried about that. But you know that's the biggest question that you're going to have. Homeschooling is becoming more of a normal thing, but for a long time it wasn't, and people always thought about homeschooling kids being weird. I know that's kind of a ridiculous stereotype, but that's what you hear. So when I tell people that I'm homeschooling, they're gonna have lots of questions, and honestly I don't like dealing with it. So that is a fear of mine, even if it sounds a little bit ridiculous. Number 2 is being overwhelmed. I don't want to take too much onto my plate and then regret it. I have a 2-year-old that is a very busy 2-year-old. She is a lot. She cracks me up, she's amazing, I love her to death, but she's a lot. So I worry about, am I going to be able to homeschool my son with Isla here? And not even that, it's keeping up on the housework, keeping up on the laundry, being able to work part-time, being able to go to work and make money part-time and not stress about getting the schoolwork done when I have to get it done. I think a lot of moms that don't work at all, they're able to be a little bit more flexible with their schedule. If they didn't get that much schoolwork done one day, they can make up for it the next. I'm not really going to have that because I work 2 days a week, so I need to be more routine and on track than maybe they would have to be. I love staying busy, and I don't want to get overwhelmed. And I think a lot of moms have told me that do homeschool is you have to stop stressing about the little stuff. The laundry will get done. Don't worry if there's dishes in the sink. You just got to focus on what you have to do, and you kind of need to put your blinders on, which is not an easy thing for me to do. So that is a worry for me. That goes along with number 3 is staying organized and on track. I'm not a naturally organized person. This is something that I've struggled with all my life. It's something that I'm constantly working on and I strive to get better at constantly. But the problem with me is I could stay really organized, and then if I fall off track with it, it's hard for me to get back on track. So I'm worried about that, being on track with learning and what we have to do and being more routine based, like we start school at this time, this is how many hours we're working on it, especially if you have a 2-year-old, you kind of have to be a little more lenient. But I've been watching a lot of homeschool moms on YouTube, and I do see that everybody has kind of like a different style with homeschooling. Some people are a little bit more laid back or more go with the flow kind of homeschoolers, and some people are more structured. So I can probably figure that out on my own and kind of figure out our own routine, but that's kind of worrisome, like before you've figured it out, like just diving into it and just hoping that you can figure out how it's going to work for you. So that's another worry of mine. The next worry, number 4, is curriculum. For any of you guys that have been homeschoolers, I'm sure that you felt the same way at first. It's super overwhelming looking at curriculum, so many different types of curriculum, and kind of just figuring out what's going to be the best choice for your family, for your kid. And they're not cheap, a lot of them. So you put the money into it hoping that it'll work, and sometimes it doesn't work. So that's a little bit stressful. That's a fear of mine. Again, I've been doing tons of research trying to figure out what would be the right fit for us, especially for kindergarten being the first year. I think I can be a little bit more flexible, but yeah, that's a big worry of mine. Picking the right one, not wasting money. And the last thing is, I'm sure something a lot of moms that are thinking about homeschooling think about, and that is being able to teach your kid. I worry about Cullen too, because he has had a speech delay in the past, and there is certain things that he has to get better at, and I worry, am I going to be able to do enough? And I'm sure that's something that homeschool moms worry about a lot, even if their kid doesn't have a delay. Am I doing enough? Am I covering enough? Are they up to par or where they should be? Am I staying on track? Is this a good curriculum? Am I stressing them out? Am I being a good mom and teacher at the same time? I'm sure that's something that you always worry about, and I do worry about that. But at the same time, all of the research that I've done shows that homeschoolers are totally keeping up with their public school peers, if not doing a little bit better. And that's probably because they have one-on-one learning instead of learning in a bigger group. And I do notice that my son has a little bit of different ways that he learns. He loves learning, but he learns in a very specific way. He's very visual and hands-on like I am. He likes statistics and stats, and when he finds something that he's interested in, he's 100% into it, kind of like how my husband is. So he has a hard time sitting still at a desk doing book work. That's going to be very difficult for him. And when I picture kindergarten, a lot of my friends that are teachers or clients that I have that are teachers talk about how kindergarten is way more rigorous and structured than it used to be. When I was in kindergarten back in the day, we used to take naps. We'd make sculptures with Play-Doh and color, and it was more of a learning as we play kind of thing. In kindergarten, it's you're reading, you're doing basic writing, you're doing basic math. It's a lot different than it was back then, which is why I'm happy that I held Cullen back a year to kind of help him catch up. But I just don't know how good he's going to do in that kind of situation. But with that being said, I do think there's pros and cons to public and homeschool. So that's a decision that we're going to have to make soon. Again, I'm leaning towards homeschool, so I'd like to see your comments in the description box below. And something that I am happy about is if I do decide to keep Cullen home, he still will be able to get his speech and OT services if we decide to at the elementary school and with his speech therapist that he's been working with. So he's still going to be getting some outside help, which kind of relieves my stress a little bit. And there's so many programs at the library that I've been looking into and that I have done with him that also excites me. So anyway, these are my top 5 fears. Leave in the comment section below what you guys think about them if you felt similar. If you're not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe for future updates. We would love to have you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.